You're listening to a production of the National Media Archive. To learn more or volunteer, go to nationalmediaarchive.com.
Let me paint a picture. 9.6 million job openings are up for grabs across America, but millions of people are still desperately searching for work. It feels like a cosmic joke, doesn't it? On one hand, businesses are blasting help-wanted ads and offering hiring bonuses, yet on the other, job seekers are submitting hundreds of applications with barely a nibble. Why is it that when you think hiring should be as easy as matching socks, the reality is so much messier? The numbers, at first glance, seem to promise a hiring free-for-all. But as we'll see today, those numbers are more illusion than reality, thanks to how we define a job opening and the tricks both sides play to game the system. So, is this a labor shortage, a hiring crisis, or something far more complicated? Let's dive in. Ever wonder how we end up with that magic number 9.6 million job openings? Here's a secret. It's not a precise headcount, but a survey. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics calls up about 20 businesses each month asking if they have jobs open that meet three very simple criteria. 1, the job exists and there's work to do. 2, it can be filled within 30 days. 3, someone is actively recruiting. But here's the catch. Companies can look more desperate for staff than they really are, simply by keeping ads up for roles that are chronically hard to fill or see sky-high turnover. The technical term for this is structural vacancy, but in English, it's like leaving the porch light on, hoping someone will walk in, even if the room's already full. Now, let me tell you a story about Amazon, the warehouse behemoth. Last year, Amazon staff turnover hit a jaw-dropping 150%. Imagine hiring 2.4 million people a year just to keep a 1.6 million strong workforce steady. Most new high-restu out of 3 didn't even make it past the 90-day mark. So what happens? Job ads never come down because there's always a new seat to fill. It's like a revolving door. As fast as someone walks in, someone else is walking out. And Amazon isn't alone. Big box retailers and delivery giants do the same. In HR lingo, it's called churn rate. But for folks on the ground, it's just a never-ending game of musical chairs. But what if you're not after a warehouse gig? Maybe you're eyeing a 6-figure tech role or a cushy finance job. Here's the twist. Even for these coveted positions, job posting numbers can be wildly misleading. Take Amazon Web Services. An internal leak showed 0 jobs posted in a single year, but only 800 were ever approved for hire. The rest? Pure window dressing. Why keep these phantom roles out there? To lure in top-tier talent, of course. If you're not the unicorn candidate, your application hits a brick wall. It's called evergreen requisition in HR speak. Now, you might be thinking, isn't this just bait and switch? In a way, yes. But because these are private companies, there's nothing illegal about it. It's just ruthlessly effective. Here's a stat that'll make you rethink the whole labor market. While there are 6.5 million people officially counted as unemployed, another 5.4 million Americans want a job but don't fit the technical definition. Why? Because unless you've actively looked for work in the last 4 weeks and are ready to start immediately, you're invisible to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It's called labor force participation rate, a fancy term for who's in and who's out of the official count. The upshot? What looks like a hiring frenzy is often just a data mirage, and millions slip through the statistical cracks. Now, let's talk about one of the most exasperating trends for job seekers: ghost jobs. These are positions advertised but never actually intended to be filled. According to Harvard Business Review, ghost jobs are everywhere, and companies use them for 3 main reasons. First, to build huge databases of potential candidates. Think of it as talent hoarding. Second, to give current staff the illusion that help is on the way. Third, to impress investors and clients by appearing to grow. It's like putting up a help wanted sign in a closed shop, frustrating for applicants, but a clever form of corporate window dressing. How many hours have you or someone you know wasted applying for jobs that never really existed? Here's a modern twist. Remote work has turned the job market upside down. Full-time work-from-home roles mean companies can post the same job in dozens of cities, hoping to snag the cream of the crop. For job hunters, it looks like opportunity is everywhere, but in reality, it's one seat with hundreds of billboards. This is called job syndication, spreading a single vacancy across multiple locations. Now, you might be thinking, isn't that good for me? In theory, yes, it means you can work from anywhere. But in practice, it makes competition fiercer, and the pool of real available jobs seems much larger than it is. It's a numbers game, and the numbers are stacked against you. Let's rewind a few decades. Once upon a time, companies nurtured talent for the long haul. Job training was an investment, and loyalty was rewarded. Today, not so much. Thanks to automation, think algorithmic screening and workflow software, roles like bank manager and pharmacist are more about following computer prompts than deep expertise. The result? Companies want plug-and-play employees, not trainees. If you're not already a perfect fit, your resume lands in the rejection pile. So, workers scramble to learn new skills on their own Excel boot camps, coding classes, even AI workshops just to stay in the game. But with requirements like MBAs for entry-level gigs, is it any wonder job seekers feel like hamsters on a wheel? Let's get real about another hiring strategy, the H-1B visa. For companies, it's a lifeline to global talent, but also a lever to keep costs and turnover low. If a foreign worker on an H-1B loses their job, they have just 60 days to find a new sponsor or face deportation. This creates a workforce that's highly motivated to stay put, unlike American workers who might jump ship for better pay. So, when businesses claim they can't find the right skills domestically, sometimes it's less about a shortage and more about leveraging immigration policy. It's a tough break for both job seekers and visa holders, a system where loyalty is enforced by circumstance, not choice. Now, here's a twist. The old economy never saw coming. More people than ever are choosing to work for themselves. In the past year alone, over 5 million new businesses were launched in America, a sharp jump from pre-pandemic days. Platforms like Etsy, Uber, Fiverr, and even YouTube have made it easier than ever to ditch the corporate grind. Why? After years of applying to jobs that may not exist, who wouldn't want to control their own destiny, even if it's risky? It's called the gig economy, and it's both a symptom and a solution to the dysfunction we've explored. When companies play games with job openings, millions vote with their feet and build something of their own. So let's bring it home. The job market isn't just a matter of supply and demand, it's a complex web of incentives, data games, and shifting values. Companies inflate openings to look strong, chase the ideal candidate, and keep options open. Job seekers confront ghost jobs, impossible requirements, and a landscape where loyalty goes unrewarded. Meanwhile, millions opt out and go solo, chasing freedom over security. If you're feeling frustrated, you're not alone. The system is stacked with paradoxes, but knowing how the game is played gives you power. So next time you see a headline about desperate employers or endless jobs, remember, sometimes it's just smoke and mirrors. Stay sharp, keep learning, and if you want more deep dives like this, don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter, Compounded Daily. Until next time, keep hustling and keep questioning.